Hello and welcome to mycadsite.com, and this is a video tutorial for lesson 3-16 at my CAD site. And we're going to start by drawing and modeling a building in 3D. We're going to add walls, windows, doors, a roof, and then in the next lesson we'll add some lights and render it so that we have a fully rendered 3D model of a building in 2 lessons. So all of the commands I'm using were shown in the previous tutorials in level 3, and I'm using architectural units, so I apologize to everyone that's used to seeing metric units, but this is just what I'm used to and what most of the viewers are also used to. So let's just get started. I've got a 2D floor plan. I'm in my southwest isometric view, and this is made up of lines and rectangles. And so usually when I'm drawing something like this, the first thing I'm going to do is just turn everything into regions. So now I've got 3 regions created. So I've got 1, 2, 3 regions. And now what I've got that, I can extrude these regions. And actually what I'm going to do is just select them individually, and I'm going to extrude them 9 feet. So there's my rooms, but if I do a hide command, you'll see that it looks like the 3 rooms are all filled up with concrete, which really isn't going to work. So what I'm going to do is regenerate this, and I'm going to use the subtract command. So I just subtract from this, and I'm going to subtract this solid first. So now if I do a hide command, you can see that I do in fact have walls now instead of a solid area. So I'm just going to subtract again, and I'm subtracting from this that area. Oops. Let's try that again. Subtract from there, press enter, and now I'm done again. So now when I do the hide command, everything looks like it should. So I'm going to regenerate this, and now I need to draw a door right in the front area and another one here. Okay, so what I need to do is just draw a line here, and I'm just going to offset it 5 feet, offset it another 3 feet, and then I'm just using these as construction lines. I'm just going to draw a rectangle from there to there, and this is going to be the beginning of my door. So what I'm going to do now is extrude my rectangle 6'8". Now I'm going to use the same door right here, so I'm just going to copy this over from this midpoint to that midpoint. So now what I can do is use again my subtract command. I'm going to subtract from the main, subtract from this, and I'm going to subtract my 2 door openings. So now if I do a hide command again, you can see that I've got door openings ready for doors. So now to draw a door, I can just draw a rectangle, and I'm going to extrude this once again 6'8", and I'm going to copy this over. I'm going to use this endpoint to that endpoint. So now you can see how it's very quickly to just start getting things built, doors, walls. Okay, so the next thing for drawing the windows, I'm going to start once again like I did with the door openings. I need to create the window openings. So let's just start with a rectangle, and it comes out from this corner 3 feet, and the size is going to be 48 comma 6. So it's going to be 4 feet long, 6 inches wide. Now I can extrude this up, let's say 30 inches. And now what I'm going to do is just copy it over to other places. So first thing I'm going to do is just mirror it over to the other side. So I can just mirror it over. So there it is. And this one, I'm just going to do the same. And there we go. So I don't want these window openings right on the ground floor here, right on the ground. So I'm just going to move them all up and select them, and I'm going to move them at 0, 0, let's say 40 inches. And now once again, I'll just use the subtract command. So I'm subtracting from the main building these 4 openings. Now if I do a hide command, you can see I've got openings. There's my door, and I've got openings for my windows now. So now if I want to put an actual window in, a window's thin, it's a piece of glass. So what I'm just going to do is change my UCS, and I'm just going to choose a 3-point. So I choose my origin, my X, and my Y. So now I can draw a rectangle, and now I can move it from here to the center. And I'm just going to extrude this just a fraction of an inch, and then copy it to each of the window openings. And you'll notice this wall's thinner, so maybe I'll just move it to that midpoint. So now if I do another hide command, you can see I can't see in, but later on I'm going to add a glass material to this so that it is transparent. So now I've got doors and windows. So the next thing I'm going to do is add the roof, and I'm just going to change my UCS again, my origin, positive x-axis, and my positive y. And I'm going to start by drawing a line from my midpoint 6 feet up. Now I can draw a polyline from endpoint to endpoint to endpoint and close it. Erase my line, and I'm just going to extrude this -6 inches, and then I'll just copy it over. Oops, copy it over. I'm going to pick this point instead and put it over there. So obviously this is you know, just a rough drawing. This isn't something you're going to be doing architectural drawings off of and building plans off of. But now I can union these 3 pieces so that this is all one face now. So I think you can see how it's starting to come together. So what I'm going to do next is add a slab for the roof. And once again, change my UCS, my origin, my endpoint, and my endpoint. And you'll see how my icon changes each time. So I'm just going to draw a rectangle now from there. And I'm just going to erase that last one. I'm going to regen because a lot of times it's hard to get O-snaps and stuff going when you're in a hide. So let's just draw that rectangle again. And that's better. And I'm just going to and I'm going to extrude it. Let's say 3 inches. So now if I do once again a hide, you can see, oops, there's my roof on my building. Now if I just mirrored this, there'd be a gap at the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to regen, and I'm going to first copy my roof up, let's just say 6 inches. And then I'm going to copy it down also 6 inches, and that'll give me a bit of a eave on it as well. Now I'm going to union those 3, and you can see how it starts getting a little tough to figure out which line is which, but I think I've got 3 roof slabs there. Let's do a hide, and yep, that's looking good. So now I'm just going to regenerate this, and I'm going to mirror my roof. And let's just get back into my world coordinate system, and I'm going to mirror this using the midpoint right there. So now you can see that I've got my roof going, but I've got this little part here to deal with. And to do that, and to get rid of this, I'm just going to use the slice command. So I start my slice command, and the object to slice is going to be this one first. And I'm going to choose my 3-point option, and I'm going to pick this point, and this point, and I'm going to pick both sides. And now what I can do, it's just hard to see these, but there it is, and there's the little piece left over. So now I can erase that. So now if I do a hide command, we're right there. So I'm going to switch over from my southwest view to the other side and get the other roof done here. So I'm going to slice, and once again choose 3 points. And you notice I'm just doing a quick zoom in and out to make sure I do pick the best points I can. And keep both parts. And erase the excess. So I'm just going to go into my 3D orbit here and get a little bit different view of my house. And there's my roof, my doors, windows. If I go into my visual styles, go from 2D frame to realistic, you can see how everything's all gray because I haven't been using layers like I should be. So let's just go back into wireframe. I'm going to go back now and start looking at this drawing. As everything's modeled, now I could obviously go into a lot more detail and just end up, you know, spending days or weeks on it. But as far as basic modeling goes, that's it. I've got, you know, some little lines to clean up. I've got some layers to do. But for now, this is 18 minutes into the video, so stay tuned for part 2. This will be in the next tutorial, 3-17, where I start rendering it and adding materials. Thanks for watching. This has been mycadsite.com. Please refer to lesson number 3-16 for more information.